Hello friends, my name is James. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Episode 2 of Pieces of Her begins with Andy racing up to the storage unit. She almost falls asleep at the wheel though, prompting her to stop and pick up a map of Georgia, which, by extension, includes Carrollton, and some snacks. She's clearly rattled over what's happened and the cashier has a concerned look on his face. Andy soon makes it to Carrollton, where she follows the instructions her mum gave her to continue on to Maine. She doesn't really question it either, although Andy does stop at an internet cafe to find how long the drive to Maine will be, over 19 hours, phew, and look at the local paper. Interestingly, she remembers the words Laura mentioned prior to a bag being put over her head. Specifically, the name Paula. Meanwhile, Detective Wilson heads over to Laura's, where she questioned what happened the previous night regarding the police being called. She shrugs it off as if she's suffering from PTSD, believing a gunman was at the door. This is, of course, a lie, but she's pretty believable. Detective Wilson seemingly sees through this facade though, believing there's more to Laura than meets the eye. Managing to hide the blood-stained rug from the officers, Laura eventually sees them out, but not before they offer to drive her car back. Meanwhile, Andy prints out some papers but notices a shifty man with a hoodie sniffing around her car. Believing herself to be compromised, she heads out the back and immediately stumbles on the get-go. Wait, didn't the online location say it was a lot further away from the library? Anyway, she opens the unit and finds a car all primed and ready to go. There's a gun inside the glove box, as well as a whole bunch of gear in the back, including a big old pack of water. There's also a secret compartment here too, which includes a ridiculous amount of money in a suitcase. Not only that, there are a whole bunch of different ID cards too with her mother's face on. Wait, are we going full on Jason Bourne here? Seeing all of this changes Andy's perception of her mother, but she continues on to Maine. Just like she was told. Back home, Gordon shows up as Laura confirms that he's here. That gunman from the night before is still alive, as it turns out, and he's tied up and gagged. Gordon wants to phone the police but Laura is convinced that they are going to come after her and, by extension, Andy. Quite who these people are and what they intend to do though is still unclear. For now, Andy holds up at the local motel. Meanwhile, Laura and Gordon drive with their captive but as he starts having a seizure, Laura is forced to pull over the car. He's going to kill you, the man rasps, before passing away. Unfortunately, it seems Laura's past is coming back to haunt her. For now, Laura heads home and starts clearing up the blood on her rug. At the same time, Andy gets talking to a guy called Jack at the bar. He mentions his marksman competition, prompting Andy to chirp up and urge him to teach her how to fire a gun. After their session, Andy thanks him for his help but notices something in his car which spooks her completely. She hurries back into her hotel room, consumed by paranoia, as she wonders just what her mum has got her into.